Alright guys, welcome to my channel. For those that are newcomers, I apologize for my goofiness, but for those that have been around for a while, you know it's worth it. I just wanted to say thank you to Mr. Mean at the beginning of this video. He bought me the Quartet, and so I have these 4 new tanks to mess around with. I'm going to start off with the IS-2, or Soviet IS-2 as it's kind of going by, because obviously there's some confusion between the Chinese IS-2 and this one. My initial impressions are this. I love the IS. I think it's my 3rd most played tank in the game. I think 500-600 battles, somewhere around there, in the regular old IS. Now, my issue with the IS, and it has been since patch 9.6, and I know there's guys that are going to throw out there when I say this, they're going to be like, well, they didn't really do much different. But for this tank, they did. The issue with the IS tank, and of course it translates to this tank because they're exactly the same, is that the gun takes forever to aim, and when you combine that with the issue that you have no armor, because the IS really does not have, it's not horrible, but it doesn't have a lot of armor, and anything above tier 6 is going to be able to, and tier 6, most tier 6s are going to be able to penetrate you rather easily. So it presents an issue when the gun does not have good penetration and you have to sit out for quite some time to get the tank aimed. And you're going to see a battle. I have 2 battles I'm going to show you. You're going to see this happen, I believe, in both battles, definitely in one of the battles, where as soon as I'm visible, I'm getting hit from everywhere. And to take a shot, you have to sit out there long enough for the gun to aim. Now, before patch 9.6, you could just wing a shot off. You didn't have to wait till you were aimed fully. Now, is that realistic? Probably not, but they had the game set up like that for over a year. We were able to do things like that. So you'd be able to drive the tank, you know, here's the enemy, whip off a shot, and then get back in cover. That no longer works with this tank because you have to aim all the way. Now, if you aim all the way, yeah, you're probably going to hit your shot. But if you're not aimed all the way, the bullet is going to go all over the place, and you're probably not going to hit anything. And that is something that has drastically changed with the IS and the IS-2. And trust me, I've played enough games in the IS to know when it's different. I used to be able to just fly around and pop things with the gun. Oh, there's a scout. Bam! You know. Now it's, okay, stop the tank, wait 5 seconds while it aims, and then by the time you fire, you've already been hit 2 or 3 times by other tanks. So that's one downside. The second downside to this tank is that it does not have a ton of armor, so you can't really brawl with it. Now, the funny thing is, okay, so let's look at the IS-6. Same armor, 100. Now, the turret has 150 on the front. But what this allows you to do, because the armor is angled better, this tank bounces shots like crazy. In fact, I have more steel walls in this tank than... I guess I should say I have almost as many steel walls in this tank as battles. Now, the reason why I bring this tank up is that even though it's a tier higher, it uses the same gun. These both have that Russian 122mm gun. On the IS-6, it works because the IS-6 has the armor to allow you either, one, to get close to your enemy, pull out in front of him, bounce a shot, and then blast them, and then pull back to cover, and have no repercussions. These guys, you know, if you come out there and you keep moving and you don't stop and you just blast them and then get back to cover, they're going to bounce shots like crazy off the front of your tank. It just happens. Unless they're flinging gold, and even then, they're going to have a difficult time getting through the front of the IS-6. So this gun works great for this tank. You put it on the IS, now you've got the same situation that you have to do. It's a tier lower, but so you're going to penetrate more shots because you're going against a lot of tier 7 tanks, but the problem still exists, and that is you pull out and you take the shot and you get hit, and you're going to take those hits. So if you try to brawl with this tank, you're going to get torn apart. So that relegates it to somewhat of a sniping role, but the gun is terrible for sniping. It's not good over distances. It used to be, but it's not. And trust me, I know there's those of you that are going to say, well, it's not that big of a difference and it should be the same. From a gun handling standpoint, I have played enough of the IS to know that that's not the case. It's totally not the case. It used to be different than it is now. It is much more difficult to do the kind of... I mean, there was a time when I was getting 3,000 damage, 2 to 3,000 damage a battle in my IS. Easily. Now it's a struggle to pull off 1,500. So the exact same things come over to the IS-2. So what's different here? Well, the IS-2 has, obviously way better, looking stuff on it. It's got cool logs. It's got a cool paint job. I did not camo paint mine because it's a heavy tank. The camo's really not going to help that much. So I figured I'd like to keep the authentic look. Now, some of the other ones that were in the Quartet I did paint. But it's cool, it's got these broken fenders. This thing's seen some use as opposed to the squeaky clean, regular IS where it's, still gorgeous, but, yeah. Now I'm sad because Sophie's sending me an invite and I want to play, but I'm going to have to tell him I can't because I got to get these done. I got to go back to work. So out of the 4 tanks that come in the Quartet, to me, I don't want to say this tank is useless. I am having fun with it. I've played 12 battles. I believe I have exactly right up the middle of 50%. So I've won 6 and I've lost 6 in this tank. But out of all of them, I feel like this is the least effective tank of the group. And it doesn't make as much money because the rounds are expensive. I just cannot get effective in this tank. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look at the stats real quick and then we'll go for a run. 1,280 hit points versus the regular IS, which has 1,230. So a little boost in hit points. Hold on. All right. The regular IS has 700 horsepower. This one has 600. Top speed 34. Top speed 34. So as you can see, it doesn't make that much difference. Now, so you should theoretically have more speed going uphill with this one because, as you can see here, the weight of the tank is, the way I have it loaded out is 47.77. This tank is 46.23. Actually, it's lighter, but it has more armor. So I don't know. I guess the regular IS is going to be a hair faster than the IS-2. At least theoretically it should be, especially when you're going uphill. You should be able to have more oomph getting to where you need to get with this tank. So that makes a difference. But other than that, I mean, they're pretty much identical. The rate of fire is identical. The gun is the same. The view ranges, let's check those. Yeah, 350 on both. Signal range is horrible on all of these premium Quartet tanks. They've nerfed the radio range, whatever. It's the least important part of the tank to nerf. So one thing that people are kind of upset about is that this tank is pretty much on par with the IS. Like I said, there's a couple little things that are different, but where it counts, it's the same tank. So people are kind of upset by that. Once again, this is not, I would say, a standard premium tank. This is a tank that is going to be available only for a short time, for a week. So if you're interested in getting this tank, and like I said, I'm making it sound like it's a dud, but it's not. I actually like this tank. It's not the monster machine that some of the other ones that are in the Quartet are. But it's a good tank. It still is a good balanced tank. It's going to make you okay money. As you can see, I started last night with $100,000. And after playing, I think, 30 battles, I made almost 1 million credits. So, and I wasn't playing like a champ because I was playing from 2 o'clock in the morning until 5. So I was kind of tired. But let's go ahead and take a look at the battles that I ran, and we'll continue discussing it. All right, battle in progress. I apologize. I realize both the replays I pulled for this are from Prokharova. Apparently this map and this tank get along good. Here we have our beautiful paint job. I wanted to point out, I need to make this clear, that the paint job, this tank does not have preferential matchmaking. So you will see Tier 9 battles, though I will say, once again, I'm in the first 30 battles, so I might still be in that honeymoon phase with the tank, but I haven't seen a ton of Tier 9 battles. Mostly, I've seen, Tiers 7 and 8. So it's not bad. At least for now, it's not bad. It's sometimes you get those nights where you're put in your bottom platoon every time or bottom tank every time. That has not happened yet with this tank. Mostly you're in your tier or 1 tier up, but you will see Tier 9 with this tank, and that's okay because it's perfectly capable of seeing Tier 9. So is it worth it? Well, I would say if you're going to pick one tank and you don't have a lot of you don't have a lot of money, but you really want to buy one of them, my favorite vote right now is the Cromwell B. I've had so much fun with that tank, and it's very mobile. It's a Cromwell, but faster with a better traverse. It runs like a scout. I was running it last night, and I outpaced a T-71 like in a straight line. We took off and ran, and I bypassed them. Now I'm running the high octane fuel or medium octane fuel, but so you can see here I'm trying to stay in cover and yet get some hits, and I think this battle you are going to see what I'm talking about as an issue for this tank. And so as soon as you get exposed, you're skunked. Because it takes so long for you to aim. You know, I'm going to try to hit this dude here. And alright, so here we go. Aiming, 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 and I missed. And because I didn't wait. I fired before this aim circle was done. And you saw there, I sat up there for at least 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds before I aimed. And I wasn't aimed all the way. And that's very frustrating because you have to expose yourself for so long. And you've got that big dome on top of your lid. And the artillery's firing at me. And I did wing that shot. And I got it. So sometimes you are going to hit still. But it's definitely a lot more dangerous than it used to be. I used to wing shots like that all the time and get them. Now it's very rare that a shot like that, what I just took there, actually hits anything. So, but once again, not a bad tank. I don't want to get your impressions wrong or your feelings wrong about this tank. It is a great tank. If you love the IS, you're going to love this tank. Oh, and crew skills. Here's an odd thing. Okay, so you have Brothers in Arms. Every tank in the Quartet does have Brothers in Arms. I can verify that. So here we go. See, now look, as soon as I popped up to aim, I'm getting hit like crazy. And I still wasn't able to hit the shot because I had to get out of there. I couldn't sit there till it was fully aimed. So I missed. So that is the issue with this tank. Now, if you can get flanked and take somebody who's busy fighting somebody else, well, then you're in heaven. And that does happen occasionally where they're tied up, and you'll see me do that a little bit later here. That Jag Tiger is going to get tied up with our Bulldog, and it makes it a lot easier for me to hit him. So here we go. Coming up. Here's the other problem with this gun. Oh, he's dead already. So the Brothers in Arms perk is on every crew member. Of course, you have to have it. There we go. So now this guy's busy. Now's my opportunity to be able to take time and aim. And we're thinning them out, so there's not as many guys to shoot at me. And he's angled now, so I can try, but I'm probably not going to penetrate. And I'm like, ooh, juicy. So you can see here, I am sniping a little bit with this tank, and it's okay. Yep. Now here's the thing: you can't retrain the Brothers in Arms. Just so you're aware, if you're thinking, hey, I'm going to take this tank, but I don't want them to have Brothers in Arms. I don't really care about that. I want to have, let's say, I don't know, camouflage. And obviously this tank, that's not going to, but, you know, repairs, let's say repairs. You can go ahead and do that, but it isn't going to do you any good. Because the Brother in Arms skill is going to stay at 100%. You cannot reset that skill. So this crew has a permanent Brothers in Arms skill. It will never go away. And that's okay, because it does help. You know, obviously Brother in Arms is a good perk to have because it gives everybody a boost. But you cannot erase it or get rid of it. So you can see here, this is, I would say, an average tier 8 game for this tank. You can't be too aggressive, but you need to kind of be there. And, you know, it's funny, on the next one you'll see somebody yelled at me for going up the middle. They're like, that's a bad spot for the IS because of the gun depression. Yeah, you're right, but you got to do what you got to do, right? This RH just blasted our dude, and he thinks he's going to get away, but he's not. There you go. Let's take a look at the stats for that. All right, coming in with almost 1,000 experience, and I have premium, so let's take a look at the profits. 26,000 profits, 36,000, no premium fired. So it does cost, you know, it costs $10,000 to take the 8 shots that I fired. That's because they're $1,200 a round. This would have been a $14,000 battle. And it was just, like I said, this is just an average battle. This is not like, oh, Arthur, that was the most amazing IS battle. I haven't had one of those yet. I spent 12 battles trying to get one of those. Wow, that's an amazing battle. You should make a video with that. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it. So I finally gave up and I just picked these two. And that's the problem with this tank. So it's not that it's a bad tank. You're going to make, this is obviously way more money than you would, I probably would have made like $5 in the IS, the regular IS. So you're making more money. You're getting more experience for your crew, but you're still not making a ton of money. You can make more money in the other tanks. So team score came in fairly low on the list. That's not very good, but whatever. I mean, it is the battle that I had. I still did 1,000 damage. I'm happy with that. So that's the first battle. Here's the second one. Oh, but that one, and I want to say this, that one did highlight what I was talking about, where, you know, like I said, when you expose the turret to fire, everybody and their mother's brother, especially at the beginning of the game, is going to start shooting at you. So having that long aim time and not having the ability to wing shots any longer, it hurts. It does hurt. And I've experienced the exact same thing in my regular IS. So it's not something that is directed directly at the IS-2, but at the IS and the IS-2 in general. Just that style of tank. It's having a hard time adapting to the new, and it's not new anymore, but the new aiming system. So that's been a little frustrating to me. That's probably why but it doesn't mean I'm not going to play this tank. And I'll tell you what. Well, let's start the next video. Okay, battle in progress. I'm looking at the way our team is going and realizing every single tank is going up the hill, and I'm thinking, it's not going to work. So what I was getting at was where this tank is going to really shine is in a platoon with some friends. So if you got a friend that's got a T-29 or another IS, or like the Chinese IS-2 versus the Soviet IS-2, or one of these. See, here he is. He's telling me, hey, you don't have this. This is not a good spot. Well, yeah, I didn't do stellar either, but he's right. But it's better than where they're going. I would have been able to do nothing up there. So so this is going to be a good platoon tank. That's where the strength lies with the IS-2. So if you have friends that you play heavies with, Tier 7, and there's a lot of guys that love to run the Tier 7 heavies, including myself, because it's kind of like the nice balance between, you know, difficult but still rewarding. You know, you feel like you're doing something, you're not seal clubbing, and you're just out having fun. And there's so many great heavy tanks at Tier 7. Obviously, you've got, you know, the AMX 1945. I'm kidding. But you got the Tiger 1, you've got the T-29, you've got, you know, the IS, you've got just all these classic tanks that are at that tier, that are at that level, and they're all fun to play. So this tank will work well in a group of those tanks. So this is a good platoon tank. So once again, if you like the platoon, this is a good option. You know, so I just played it by myself last night, and it didn't go well. But I find that it's true in the regular IS, when you're platooned with friends and you're working together to kill enemies, that's where the IS comes into strength, because you've got that brutal gun. So your friend with the armor pushes first, gets the guy engaged, then you sneak up on the side and blast him. And that's how this works, and that's how this works best. So I'm going to go back to regular camera and see what I'm looking at. Hoping to get some shots here, but just trying to stay alive for the time being. And we'll speed things up a little bit because I want to get to well, there's really no exciting part, but it just gives you an idea of how this tank plays. And I do like it. I don't love it, though. Here's a frustrating thing, okay? So view range is a little short. Trying to get shots on the STA-1. And a miss. And that was almost a full aim. And, you know, it's like, where did the bullet go? It was looking like it was going right to him. Here's a total whiff. I'm going to fire. I'm waiting. I'm like, I can get this guy. I know I can hit him. And he moved. So I guess I can't hit that guy. So. Alright. And the KV-3's got me spotted. And he goes right through. Where did he go through? Let's take a look. I think he went through my turret. I don't know. I'm not seeing the damage. I bet you it bounced. I can see on the front there's like a shell mark right there. I bet you it bounced up into the bottom of my turret. Maybe? Yeah. Anyone see it? I don't see it. But he did hit me, and he hit me hard. Oh. Of course, I'm looking the other way. Hang on. Sorry about that. So here's the IS. Our opposing IS is right up here with us, and I'm thinking, well, let's go back to the actual game and see what happened. So he fires. He's almost dead. That guy's looking. Yeah, I knew the IS would be looking at the T-34 going, ouch, what was that? And sure enough, he didn't even see me coming up. So, But I know I'm spotted because, well, you'll see. I'm trying to do this as quietly as possible. Trying to get up and get the shots, and nope. I'm like, oh crap, but he hits the T-34 instead. And the KV-3 is still looking at me, and I'm thinking, well, maybe I can get a hit on this KV-3. The guy that shot me, I want to shoot him back. He must have pretty decent camo because, ouch! He hits me again! His gun, his crew's obviously, I don't know what they're doing, but, you know, I've got 100% crew. Why am I not hitting shots like that? He's just sitting there pegging me away, and he dies anyway, but... And so, as you can see, this is kind of how the tank has been going for me. And like I said, it's not, nothing. I can't do anything stellar with it. I feel like I'm here. I'm helping the best that I can, but I'm not really doing much. And part of that, oops, and I got hit again. Aside from absorbing damage, that's what I'm doing best. But this tank just doesn't have the gun to really hit anything unless you're close. But then you have no armor, so it's that whole IS thing. And that's, you know, like I said, it used to be a little more accurate. How can you feel good about this? This guy is obviously AFK, but I need some points. Oh, yay. So I picked this one because I wanted you to see just this is how the night went for me. With 12 battles, most of the battles ran like this. I got 2 kills, you know. One of them was a dud. So really 1 kill. And so, looking at the stats on that battle, I got spotting damage for the T-44 and the Super Pershing. Brought home a little bit less than the last battle. If we look at the roll here, amazingly, I was the... No, I wasn't. There we go. That's more like it. I was halfway down. So I kind of fell down the list even, you know, and it just... yeah. 18,000 home income. But I wanted you to see this. Like I said, this is... And I've blocked 1,000 damage, so that's pretty good. I did receive 1,000 damage also. I was almost dead. But I want you to see that it can earn money. It's okay. Like I said, where the strength of the IS-2 is going to be is definitely going to be in platoons with buddies. You get 2 or 3 of these running together. One of you draws the fire while the other one takes the shots. And that is where this tank is going to be strong. And that's where the IS is strong. So anyway, I hope that, you know, helps you guys decide whether it's worth it or not. Like I said, out of all the tanks that are available with this Quartet, the Berlin Quartet, I would say that, you know, the Cromwell's my top pick, followed very closely behind by the T-34-85, Rudy. But this tank is a good tank, and if you love the IS and you want a heavy, you know, Russian trainer with a really good crew included, this is the way to go. But like I said, I think there's other tanks that I would pick before I pick this one by itself. So anyway, hope that helps you guys decide. Have a great weekend. Don't forget, you only have till this coming Friday to get these tanks. So if you're going to pick one up, pick it up fast. Have a great day. Be sure to subscribe.